Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super review. This time reviewing episode 92. While the other universes get their teams together, Universe 7 is having trouble. It looks like no matter what, Majin Buu won't wake up for another 2 months, but they need 10 members. Beerus, frustrated, explains that this is all their fault for destroying most of the powerful fighters with the Frieza army, and that gives Goku an idea. For the 10th member, they'll get Frieza. So, what did I like about this episode? Well, first of all, I did honestly enjoy the introduction and the kind of gimmick of Universe 3's fighters. We didn't see them until now. And before they were kind of implying and sort of hinting, also just by the character designs, that Universe 3 was going to be kind of like the smart universe. And they really kind of played that up in this episode. And it's also like, it's like the smart universe and it's also like the robot universe. And they're doing this kind of thing where they're sort of combining the two, where they have these characters who are like being technologically enhanced for the tournament. They're being basically specifically designed to work well in this tournament. It is kind of doing that sort of like brains versus brawn thing. It's like, maybe even if these guys aren't necessarily as strong or something, they are being designed for this tournament so they know what to do, and it's kind of like they're trying to prove that they are better and stuff like that. I like this gimmick. I think this is a fun gimmick, especially if they like contrast that with like Universe 10, which you guys are basically just all about power and all about looking cool and strong and having big muscles. So like I like this. It's a fun little thing. It's probably not going to mean much, but I like this team's idea. Also, the other really big thing in this episode, the thing that's honestly kind of really almost revolutionary if you think about it, is Caulifla. We basically got the first ever, like completely sort of canon, inverted commas, canon female Super Saiyan. She is a Super Saiyan now, and I think that's pretty awesome. No longer will we have all these like stupid rumors and things about like Toriyama didn't know how to draw a female Super Saiyan, or females can't go Super Saiyan, or they're just too emotional, or they're not emotional enough. No, now it's like, no, we can finally just put all those rumors to rest. They have a female Super Saiyan, and it's not like some kind of special one like they're doing with the female Broly. It's like just completely vanilla Super Saiyan. Girls can go Super Saiyan too, because why not? Why wouldn't they be able to? It's like we've literally been waiting for like 20 years for something like this, and they've actually done it. And they didn't even use it as some attempt to make some kind of joke about girls and PMS and getting angry or whatever. Heck, Caulifla doesn't even really need to get angry to go Super Saiyan. She just has to really concentrate on the feeling, and then she does it. It's really nice and kind of not what I was expecting. As for what I didn't like about this episode, well, first of all, the big obvious one, and that is that Majin Buu has fallen asleep again, and he's not going to be in the tournament again. I mean, at least this time he actually got a fight in the Zen Exhibition match, and in fact, that was probably partially the reason as to why he was in the Zen Exhibition match in the first place, but no matter what, it doesn't really change the fact that they just kind of reused the same plot device to get the same character out of the way for basically the same reason. I mean, they're trying to explain it at least, so I will give it that much, but I think the thing that's really kind of griping me about this whole Majin Buu actually isn't fighting is the fact that, he's on the poster, and they've been promoting him for months, and they had that episode where Goku was fighting with him, and Majin Buu was getting so pumped up that he'd kind of like slimmed down a bit, and he was like fighting, and they were thinking about ways to make him fight, and the problem is, it's just like now that he's not going to fight, it's just making me look at all this promotional material and everything, and making me realize that every time they did that, Toei were consciously wasting our time, and that they were trying to hype us up to something that they knew was not going to happen in the long run. And I mean, plot twists can be fun. They're a very great way of, like making the audience uncertain and making us feel like a bit tense and nervous and stuff, but it's like, the other problem is like, just kind of shoving Majin Buu out again, just kind of because they feel like it. It's just gone to the point that I almost kind of don't really trust them anymore. I don't trust the main visuals, because I feel like now it's like gotten to the point that's like that might not reflect what's actually going to happen in the series, and it's getting a little annoying, and I kind of wish they would play things straight and not just try to, make us surprised, because this isn't really a surprise that I particularly care about. Also, I'm going to have to say it, Caulifla getting Super Saiyan was a little bit too quick and easy. I know exactly what you guys are going to say, just hear me out. My problem with how Cauliflower got Super Saiyan isn't like that because I think it's inconsistent or whatever. I think there is a very clear logical consistency to it, especially if you compare it to like, that she's a prodigy and Kaba got Super Saiyan pretty easily, and in the long run Super Saiyan isn't really such a big deal anymore. But my issue isn't that I think that it's an inconsistency. My issue is that, once again, they took Super Saiyan, something that used to be an incredibly big dramatic moment that came out in very big dramatic times, or at the very least to Goku and Future Trunks and kind of Vegeta, and they made it like this very cheap and basically meaningless thing because they just had these people figure it out without any real proper trigger and basically almost instantly. And yes, I know that that's also what happened to Goten and Trunks. Goten and Trunks also figured out Super Saiyan basically without really thinking about it, but just because that's in the original series doesn't mean that I actually like that. Just because Goten and Trunks got Super Saiyan really easily doesn't mean I want every other Super Saiyan from now on to get it easily, because that's the logic of the series. If they kind of make all these characters just get all these transformations without any build-up, it does make it feel like these forms don't really have any meaning anymore. And the Super Saiyan, when it was first introduced, did have meaning, and I would have liked it if Dragon Ball Super could have at least kept to try and have this transformation have some sort of meaning to it. Also, there was the stuff with Krillin in this episode. The idea that Krillin, upon kind of finding out the stakes of the tournament and finding out what he had to do, he'd basically be kind of too scared to the point that he wouldn't want to join the tournament in the first place. And in fact, that's kind of what he says, and Beerus kind of has to force Krillin, like under threat of death, to fight in the tournament. Wait, what? Even if that was just a gag, that feels very kind of out of character for Krillin. The idea that he's going to get so scared of the fact that there's a fight and he could be outclassed in that fight that he's not going to join at all. This is the guy who, even if he knows he's outclassed, he's still going to show up if he knows that people are in danger. He's got that altruism to him, or at least it feels like he does. And even if this entire thing was just kind of like a gag, or him sort of like trying to kind of lie or exaggerate basically just to kind of show Goku the consequences of his actions, the fact that they have it be resolved by having Beerus just kind of running in there and basically saying, no, you fight in that tournament or I'll kill you, and then Krillin just kind of quickly raising his hands up and be like, okay, don't worry, I'll fight. It's like, it really rubs me the wrong way. Krillin might get scared sometimes, but I feel like, at least in my interpretation, I never really thought he was a character who would get so scared that he wouldn't join a fight if he knows that he can help. And the fact that they had to basically force his hand for this tournament, it is kind of rubbing me the wrong way. So as for next episode, Goku is going off to recruit Frieza as the 10th member of the tournament. That's the big twist, that's the big surprise, and that's the thing that I've been kind of worried about for the last few weeks if you've been watching my reviews. Yeah, I'm still not really one of those people who think that bringing back Frieza was something that was 1, absolutely necessary, and 2, was going to really work, and 3 will actually just be a really good idea. I'm honestly kind of worried. I feel like the best you can hope for Frieza coming back is kind of just like exploring some aspects of different characters that we didn't really feel like we needed to explore in the first place, and at worst this could basically be them completely hacking to pieces some of the best parts of the original series retroactively. So I hope they know what they're doing with this, let's put it this way. I mean, yeah, it's been a few weeks and I'm still not really up to the idea of Frieza coming back, but I guess we'll see. So that was Dragon Ball Super episode 92. I mean, it was alright. My favorite parts were definitely the stuff when we were talking about the other universes, in this case, Universe 3 and Universe 6. When we got to the stuff with Universe 7, I mean, it's not just like I hate the idea of Majin Buu sleeping so much it just like taints everything about everything. I mean, I've kind of accepted it, and I've accepted the stuff with Frieza, but it's like, at this point it just feels like it's just far less interesting. It's far less interesting than some of the stuff that I've seen that is going on in all of the other characters and all of the other universes. I mean, at this point it feels like we've spent so much time with Universe 7 that it's almost like, why do we need to keep coming back to these guys? Well, wasn't this already sorted out? Didn't we have everyone? Didn't we spend all these episodes recruiting everyone? Why do we need all this stuff in the last minute? Basically, I just don't really know why we need a plot twist. But I did like the stuff that wasn't related to the plot twist. That's kind of my opinion. I don't want to let this one thing taint my opinion of the entire arc, because obviously all those like character-focused episodes and all those fights that they were doing before were honestly still really fun, and a lot of those still actually do mean something for this upcoming Tournament of Power. But yeah, this is one of those first ideas where I'm like, oh, you didn't need to put that in there, and I would have preferred it if you didn't. But I guess, keep an open mind. I'm still keeping an open mind. It's just my judgment is going towards more of the negative side, but I am keeping an open mind just so you know. A lot of the biggest concerns I have about Frieza coming back are going to really relate to like how they're going to manage to get him to join the tournament in the first place. So a lot of those will probably be resolved next week, and if they get all of those working pretty well, maybe I'll be a bit more optimistic towards this. At this point, I guess we'll see. I guess we're going to wait for next week. So this is Gabby, signing out, and I'll see you all next week. Bye guys!